Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Pink Skulls Chaos Club Deluxe Gig from Hell box set. And I'm excited about this because I haven't reviewed a Mezco figure in quite a long time, and I was a big fan of the first set of Pink Skulls, and I think this is a very cool re-release because a lot of people missed out on that first set and they become kind of expensive on the secondary market. So this gives people a chance to get them who missed them the first time around, but at the same time, they're a little bit different. So if you already have the Pink Skulls, then you could get these and get something different out of it. But at the same time, for the people that did miss it, you could still kind of get the same experience and the same fun out of these because they are very similar. But yeah, I think this was a very good approach to a re-release, and I thought it was a good idea. But let's go ahead and get into this, starting off with the packaging. As you can see, we have the Pink Skulls right here, and it looks like they're standing in front of like a venue, you know, like an underground spot where you could go check out concerts, and that's very fitting because that's like the whole theme of this box set. It's like punk music. I think that's what kind of music. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, something like that. So they're standing in front of like a venue, and that does look very cool. Over here, we got some like graffiti stuff going on. Up here, we have the Mezco sticker, and then right up here, it does say PSCC. So that's very cool. And then on the side of the box, we get some awesome looking artwork of the Pink Skulls. And then on the top of the box, we have like a big group of people like fighting or like in a mosh pit kind of setting. And it looks like this is going to be able to be used as like the audience for the stage diorama that this box turns into. So that's awesome. And there are some familiar faces. I see Steve Urkel right there. And then on the opposite side, we have another crowd, and I see Frankenstein and Alfred Hitchcock. And there's maybe some other people that, you know, some of you guys might recognize, but me, that's all I was able to point out, just the three of them. But yeah, this box is very cool. So you could open this up like a shoebox, and then it does become a stage for the Pink Skulls to get down and do their thing. So this is a very cool box. I love that it doubles as a diorama, and it looks good, and it's not too big, all things considered. You know, this box is filled with all kinds of accessories, and it looks like they were able to compact it into a pretty reasonable sized box. So I think that's awesome. But enough about the pretty box. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at these guys. Right, so here we have the Pink Skulls, and yeah, man, this set is absolutely ridiculous. When I was taking these figures out, I was taking a look at all the stuff that they come with, and I was just like blown away. They come with so many accessories, it's almost overwhelming. But as far as the figures themselves, these things are really, really dope. Super high fun factor. They're a whole lot of fun to play with, and they just look awesome. They've got a bunch of attitude, and they just look so cool standing together. And you know what I like what they did with this set that was a little bit different from the original Pink Skulls, is that although all three of these figures look very similar, they all have differences. Like, they have differences in their outfits, and it kind of makes them feel a little bit more like individuals. Like this guy in the middle, who I think is probably like the band leader, his whole outfit is leather. He's got a leather jacket, leather pants, and then he does have the Cortez style shoes. And those are very well sculpted. We've seen those before on Gomez figures, and I think they're pretty damn awesome. I'm sure at some point Mezco will start selling those shoes, like actual shoes. People will buy those up. And then with these two guys, they both have jeans, which is very cool, and they both have boots, but even the boots are different between them. With this guy over here, you could see that the boots are actually unlaced, and they look kind of messy. Looks like you just threw them on. And then with the one on the opposite side, his boots are tied up nicely. And yeah, that's an awesome little detail. And then also, even their like clothing on the upper body is a little bit different. On the band leader, he has the leather jacket, and then he has a sweater underneath it. Over here, he has a leather jacket and then a black shirt underneath it with no design or anything. And then this guy over here has like a lightning bolt design. So I think that's very cool. That's a very cool way to make these guys feel different just right out of the box. You know, obviously with all the accessories and different heads and hats and stuff, you could make them feel a little bit more individual too. But it's cool to see that right out of the box, they each feel different. And these jackets are removable, but the zippers are very fragile, so you got to be very careful. But yeah, you could just unzip it, and yeah, as you can see, he's got nothing on the shirt there. And it looks like there's a bendy wire in the collar of the jacket. How cool is that? But let's check these guys out. Sorry, I'm just kind of messing around with them here. He's got the Pink Skull logo on the back. Actually, I think they all do. Yeah, of course they do. They're a band. They got to have it like that. So yeah, that's a very cool thing. And the design is very clean, very well done. That looks really good. I'm just curious how well the leather will hold up though, you know. I'd imagine if you put them in like super dynamic poses for a long period of time, then that leather might start to flake or something. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But yeah, this is a really good looking set. And you know, as far as like details go, there's not a whole lot going on aside from like the shoes and the hands and you know, the hands we've seen before. The stitching on the clothing is very well done. The jeans are very clean. But like I said, we've seen these exact jeans on previous Mezco figures, whether it's like Gomez or the other pink skulls. But yeah, it's very clean and very well done. And you know, the printing on the jacket is very well done. The stitching and the zippers and all that looks really nice on the jacket. As far as the guy who's all in leather, all the stitching on his whole outfit is good too. It looks really good, very lifelike, and very well tailored to the figure. So yeah, as far as all that stuff goes, these figures look amazing, and they did a great job with all the soft goods and the little bit of sculpting work that's there. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into accessories, starting off with the heads and the headgear. These are the 3 heads that came on the figures in the box. As you can see, they all look very similar, but they're very different. There's different expressions and things like that. And I think that's awesome. That adds to the individuality of each one of these figures. And starting off with the band leader, I think this is a great looking head sculpt. I love the way that the eyebrows are coming down a little bit, making it look like he's squinting. I like how we could see the yellow of the eye peering through the eye socket. And then the teeth look really good. The skull itself is very well sculpted. It looks nice. And yeah, this guy definitely gives off evil villain, calculating mastermind of the group kind of vibes, you know, so that's awesome. And his jaw is articulated, so you could open it up a little bit, but it only opens to about right there. But that's definitely enough to add something different to the entire look, you know, so that's cool. But yeah, this is a great looking head sculpt. I like it a lot. And then next up we have this guy. Again, another really well sculpted skull. I like his expression. He kind of looks like he's surprised. I kind of figured this is like the funny one of the group or something, you know. So yeah, that looks good. And again, we do have the articulated jaw. So that looks nice. The teeth are well painted. And I love the way that the yellow of the eyes pop against the black background of the eye socket, or the hollow skull area, you know. I think that's very cool. And then lastly, we have this guy. And this one definitely feels like the hothead of the crew. He looks the most angry. Look at that. He looks like a straight killer. Yeah, that's a dope looking head sculpt. The eyebrows are down a little bit. I love the yellow eyes. That looks really cool. But yeah, all 3 of these are awesome. So these are the main 3 head sculpts. And then we get a set of these heads, and we've seen these before. I believe they were included with the original pink skulls, and they have released them a couple of other different times in various like Mezco Rumble Society figures. They've had them in different colors and things like that. So yeah, these are really nice head sculpts, and it's cool to have the option to have your figures match a little bit more with the identical head sculpts. Final set, we have these, which are very similar to the previous set in terms of style, but these are a little bit better because each one of these actually has a different facial expression, and I think that's pretty damn awesome. Over here, this guy looks like he's kind of confused. In the middle, he looks like he's laughing. Over here, this dude looks super pissed off. So I think that is very cool, and these actually have articulated jaws, so that's even more options. But I like how they're similar to this style-wise because these skulls are very unique. Obviously, they look like skulls, but they do have like a weird kind of vibe to them, and I like getting the option to have that head sculpt with different. And then let's go ahead and take a look at all the headgear, because these guys do come with all kinds of different hats and helmets and masks and all kinds of things that you could put onto their heads. But let's start off with these hats here. These came out very nice. You could see that they're very well sculpted. The paintwork is kind of simple, but I do like what they did here because they made the bill of the hat kind of shiny black, and then they made the actual hat itself a more matte color, and it gives it a little bit more of an interesting look. And the hats do fit on all the heads, but on the bigger heads, I mean, it doesn't sit on there as good as it does on the smaller heads, but you could definitely get it to stay. You just you have to push it down harder. With these heads, it stays on there a lot easier with no problems at all. So it feels like these hats were made for these heads. And this is the only piece of headgear in the set that actually comes with 3 of them, so that you could have the same hat on all 3 of the figures. So if you want to have like a uniform look as far as the headgear goes, this is what you'd have to go with, and that's okay because these hats are awesome. And then next up we have this hat, and I believe this is called a bowler cap or something. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought it was something like that. I could just be saying it wrong. But anyways, this is probably my favorite hat out of all the crazy hats that these guys come with, and the reason why is because as soon as I put it on the body that has all the leather and then the sweatshirt coming out from the leather jacket, it immediately gave me Run DMC vibes. So once I did that, I was like, yep, this is my favorite. At first, it kind of reminded me of Clockwork Orange, like that kind. I mean, it's probably the same type of hat, but I was like, oh man. But then once I got like the whole Run DMC image of it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. I love it. Look at that. That's Run DMC right there, baby. That's awesome. And then moving on to this one, we have a hockey mask that has some like blood splatter on it. And this looks very good. It's held on with the elastic band that fits on there nicely, keeps it in place very well. And it looks really good. And I think it works the best on this head because the eyes are just so wide. And you can see those big yellow eyes through the mask. So I think that's really nice. But it is huge. It looks really big on the small Mezco body. And then next up we have this hat, which I'm not 100% sure what this is called, but this looks really good. This is probably the most detailed out of everything, of all the hats anyway. We have some nice paint work, some nice sculpting. We have some like dry brushing in there, some gold. Yeah, this looks really good. Look at the design up top. Yeah, that's a nice looking hat, but it is pretty shallow, so it does have a problem staying on the head. And that goes for the smaller heads as well. It just kind of, you know, sits up there. But yeah, it's a very good looking hat. And then next up we have the crown. And I think this looks really good too. I love the gold paint on there. Looks nice. It is soft plastic, so you could just kind of wrap it around the head and it could sit like wherever you want. So yeah, this is good. This guy's probably going to be wearing this when he's not wearing his Run DMC hat. So I like that. And then next we have the the aviator hat. And I like this quite a bit. It's such a random thing to throw in there, but it looks good. We got some nice sculpting work on there. A little bit of paint. Not a whole lot, but you know, enough to do the job. And it sits on the head nicely. But yeah, this is a very cool one. And then we do have a football helmet. An old school football helmet. And this might come in second to the Bowler Run DMC hat. I like this a lot, man. This is such a random thing to throw in there. Just like the aviator helmet, but this seems a little bit more random. But I like it quite a bit. There's a lot of nice paint work on there. And some really great sculpting work, man. Look at all the stitching and stuff and the holes. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like that. That's very cool. And then now moving on to some of the crazier stuff. These guys do come with a bunch of different types of intoxicants, I guess we could call them. They have a couple of different types of beers and alcohol. And as you could see here, we get a couple of joints. This one here is lit up. And we have some smoke coming out of the end of it. I like how the tip was painted orange to make it look like it was actually ignited. So that is awesome. Got the smoke coming out of the end. And this is very cool. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like these guys came with hands that were intended to hold these things. You know, they do have a bunch of different types of hands, so you could make something work, but nothing specifically designed to hold these. And same thing goes for some of the other stuff. But yeah, that does look good. And then we do get a bunch of unlit joints as well. And we actually get 6 of each of these, so they kind of went all out. And again, you know, you just got to find a way for these guys to hold them. But that works. And you can see the tips of these are brown or green or whatever. So, you know, those are unlit. And then this one's lit. So that's cool. And then let's check out some of the alcohol. Look at this guy over here. He's going at it. Double pumps. He's trying to smoke and drink the pain away. And then down here, he's got a bottle of Wild Kitty. And look at that, man. That's awesome. I like how you could see the liquid in there. It's kind of hard to read what else is on there because it's so small, but you could definitely make out the Wild Kitty. And then he has the, what does it say? Like Mad Dog 40 ounce. It's kind of hard to make everything out because of the glare. Oh, there we go. The image of the dog looks very clean and good. And yeah, all these things, you know, like, you're able to find ways to get them to hold onto these pieces, but I feel like there's no hands that were specifically intended for all these things. But I do think these accessories are very cool because, you know, we really don't see this type of stuff with a lot of figures. We've all been wanting like cigarettes and cigars and things like that for characters like Wolverine and Gambit, but we never get them. So maybe you could use these. But yeah, I like that Mezco threw these types of things in here. It's very cool, and you know they have a bunch of different uses. And then they also come with some beer cans. I was having a hard time finding a good hand to hold onto the beer can, but this is really cool too. And then it comes with this little effect that you could plug into the top, and it makes it look like the beer is kind of like overflowing. And then we have another beer effect. You could kind of make it look like the beer is spraying out from the can. These party animals spraying beer all over the hotel or whatever. But man, that's cool. Like they gave us these beer cans, which is already pretty cool. But then they even gave us effects for the beer cans. And these things do plug right into the top there. And yeah, I like these accessories a lot. I think it's very cool to get stuff like this. This set has so many accessories that I keep forgetting what's in there and just kind of finding stuff as I dig through the box. But next up here we have a gold chain. And this looks really nice too. We've got the big Pink Skull's emblem right there. That looks very good. It's very well sculpted. And the chain itself looks nice too. And I put it on him because again it adds to that rapper look I was talking about earlier. And then he does have a broken glass bottle in case he needs to shank someone. And then we do get 3 sets of these glasses. And even though these guys don't have noses or ears, the glasses still sit on the heads pretty well. They just rest on the cheekbones. You just gotta kind of line it up. Dang, now with the with these glasses and the hat, he's kind of giving off Heisenberg vibes slightly. And then this guy over here has another chain, and this is just like a deadbolt wrapped around a chain. Hanging from the end of a chain. And let's go ahead and flip that over because on this side, it does have a big A for anarchy, which is very fitting for the vibe of these characters. And then we do get 2 sets of these goggles. And these goggles are nice, but I couldn't really make it work with the goggles on and the aviator hat on. That would have been cool, but yeah, still, these are awesome. I mean, you could probably kind of make it work. Just looks kind of funny. Yeah, but that's okay. You could make something work with that. And then taking a look at the few weapons that they do come with, aside from the broken bottle, we do get an AK-47. And this does look really good. It does have the removable magazine, which we're used to seeing with Mezco figures. So that is always nice. And I've noticed since Mezco did this, a lot of other companies have started to do that. So that's awesome. But I think Mezco does it the best because when you actually remove the magazine, you could see the bullet in there. And it's usually painted. And yeah, it looks very good. And this gun is awesome. And then aside from that, we do have like a cricket bat. I think that's what this is called. It says Beamer. And looks like it's got a little bit of blood on it. Damn. All right. Jeez, yeah, this is awesome. And it looks like real wood. So there we go. That's cool. But aside from these 2 things and the broken glass bottle, there's not a whole lot that they could use for weapons. Oh, there's actually one more thing that could be considered a weapon, and it's this big bomb. And this is kind of cool because you could remove this and replace it with a lit fuse. So maybe like after they're done performing, they could just blow up the whole venue. There we go. And we've got like the fuse that's lit. Look at that, man. Alright, so now moving on to what's probably my favorite thing about this entire box set, and that would be the band equipment. As you can see, we get 2 different guitars, we get a mic and a mic stand, and a really nice looking drum set. And I've got to say, this stuff is really what sold me on this whole purchase. When I saw the price tag, I was like, damn, that's expensive. But then when I saw the accessories, I was like, okay, we got some really cool stuff. I'm sure this is going to be a cool set. But then when I saw the band equipment, that's when I was like, oh, damn it. I think I have to have this because this stuff just looked crazy to me, and I'm happy to see that it turned out so good. So let's go ahead and start it off with the drum set because this is probably one of my favorite pieces out of this whole thing, but this looks extremely well done. A lot of great sculpting work, and I like the design too. It looks like it's made out of things that you could find maybe like in your house, you know, or like at a construction site or something. We've got a bunch of pipes and couplings, and you know, we've got these wrenches that come off that you can maybe use for something else. But yeah, this is really dope. and extremely well done. This is articulated, it's on a little ball joint, and then these can hinge and move, and you could do all kinds of different things with them. But yeah, I love the design. But one of my favorite parts about the drum set is this right here, because it's ridiculous. It's like unnecessary almost. And that would be the kick drum pedal. And okay, so the design is awesome. I love how it looks like it's one of those things that they use at shoe stores to measure people's feet. That's pretty damn cool and creative. And then check this out. It actually works. And the crazy thing about this is like it's unnecessary because although it's super cool, like it's not really something that people will use like in photography, because in most cases it's going to be behind the drum set. So I'm really interested to see how people are able to incorporate this into their pictures, or how people are going to use it. Or even if you don't take pictures and you just have these guys on your shelves or whatever, this is going to be behind the drum set, so you're not even going to see it. It's just so random, but it's, you know, you got to appreciate it because they really went all out. Like the sculpting work is very well done. The paint is nice. We've got a bunch of scratches over here. And like I said, the actual drum works. So again, man, this is just crazy. They go so above and beyond with the accessories that it's ridiculous. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the mic. And just like the drum set, this has a very similar design where it's like a bunch of pipes and things like that. But it does look really cool. And then plugs into this little stand, which has some amazing sculpting work on its own. Got like the skull logo, and then on this side got some other things going on. So look at that. Yeah, some really great details here. Man, yeah, like I said, they just go all out on every aspect of the accessories. Then here's one of the guitars. Really well done. It's pink. It looks kind of messed up, like he's been using it quite a bit. On this side, oh look, it says something. Can't even read it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to zoom in and see what that says. But yeah, there's some kind of inscription on the back. So yeah, that's nice. And then let's see. We got one more guitar. Gotta get them back right. There we go. And we have this guitar that has like a skull on it. Some designs on the back. Yeah, so both the guitars are awesome. The microphone is awesome. The drum set is ridiculous. One more thing that I'll show you very quickly is just this big old milk crate that it came with that you could use for a seat. And this looks good. It would have been cool if it came with some vinyl. I know that doesn't really fit the style of music or whatever, but it would have still been nice. And yeah, the figure can sit on it with no problem. But yeah, man, this whole thing is ridiculous, and I really love all this band equipment. It's definitely going to stand out on the shelf. You could have all these guys on your shelf just like this, and it's going to be eye-catching because it looks amazing, you know? And then we do get some additional clothing. As you could see here, this guy does have the striped shirt, and the striped shirt is something that came with the original Pink Skulls, and this set comes with 3 of them. So if you want, you could put the striped shirts on, and then you basically have the original set. And we also get this blue and black bandana, which is something we saw in the original set as well. And I think this looks very cool. And then the set does come with one of these jackets, which is a nice option to have, but I do wish that it came with 3 of them. This jacket looks like it'll be a lot more durable and can definitely withstand the test of time. You know, it's not leather, so it's not going to flake or anything. So that's a good option to have. In fact, I'm probably going to keep this jacket on one of these guys. That way I could just pose them around and play with them all the time. And then we do get this crazy, crazy looking scarf. Look at that. That is wild. And it is like a bendy wire, so you could position it however you want. It can get a little messy, as you can see. There's pieces like falling off and stuff. But yeah, that's crazy. I tried to wrap it around the head, but then the head gets kind of lost and all that. I mean, that looks cool though. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm gonna do anything with this, but it's a cool thing to include, and it's definitely unique and adds a bit of fun to the figure. And now to finish up the accessories, finally, they do come with 3 of these stands with some really great looking artwork here. It's the standard Mezco stand where you could remove the peg and then plug in the articulating posing arm, and you've got all kinds of options. But this is one of my favorites because the entire thing is covered with this artwork, so that way we don't have to worry about scratches or anything. So that came out really good. And then we do get these stickers, and there's 3 sets of these stickers. And there's a lot of great stuff on here. I'm sure if like you're a big fan of this type of music, then there's a bunch of Easter eggs. I'm not as familiar, but there's a couple of things that I recognize. But yeah, this is very cool. And then to cover up a couple of loose ends that I kind of missed, they do come with a bunch of hands. I don't want to go through every single hand because, you know, look how many hands there are. And most of them are hands that we've already seen with Gomez figures or the other pink skulls. There's all kinds of stuff. There's gripping hands, there's middle fingers, there's pointer fingers, there's hang loose, there's some fists, you know, all kinds of good stuff. The only hand that I didn't really recognize, and I think it might be unique to this set, is this hand. I don't think I've seen this one before, and this one's come in handy, so yeah, that's cool. I do wish that they included some hands that had tighter grips so they could hold on to the smaller items like the joints and like these drumsticks, which I forgot to mention. They do come with like 6 of these drumsticks. I don't know why they come with 6, maybe because they're so small and there's the potential for them to get lost and they just wanted to give people a couple of extras. So that's cool that they included those. And one other thing I forgot to mention is with the beer cans, they actually come with 6 of these. So there you go. It is a shitload of accessories, and it was like a chore to get through all these accessories. I tried to find a way to kind of cut some corners and things like that. Hopefully I was able to cover everything. If I missed anything, be sure to let me know in the comments. But yeah, man, I've got to say, when it comes to accessories, Mezco goes above and beyond, and I really think that they're untouchable in that department. They put so much love into the accessories, you know. Everything is so well sculpted, things are so unique. They just kill it every single time when it comes to accessories, and I really think that they're like #1 in this scale in the accessory department. So the pink skulls is definitely a good example of that. It comes with so much stuff, you know. It's impossible not to get a kick out of the things that we see here, because there's just so many random weird things and just off the wall fun items that you could incorporate with the figures and have a good time with. So yeah, they really killed it in the accessories department. And then now for some quick size comparisons. Here we have them alongside the Mezco Street Gomez and one of the pink skulls from the original set. Here we have them alongside the Mezco Atticus Doom and Mezco Vapor. Next up we have them alongside the Mezco Conan and the Ink Blot by Felix Toys. Next up here we have them alongside the Mezco Popeye and Mezco Orlok. And then of course here he is alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and Marvel Legends Pizza Spider-Man. And then taking a very quick look at the articulation, it is very familiar because they do have the same bodies as the previous pink skulls, obviously, and the Mezco Gomez figures. And this body, I think, is probably the most articulated body that Mezco has given us, and it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and take a look starting off at the head. He does have movement at the upper neck and at the lower neck, so using both of those, we get some really good movement. You get some tilt action going, which is great. You can look side to side. It could look up to right there, which is very nice, and then it could look down to right there. And as I mentioned before, he does have an articulated jaw. These 3 heads have that, and so do some of the other heads. And then for the torso, we do have a diaphragm cut and a ball joint at the waist. Using both of those, they can go to the side a really nice amount. Check that out. They can go back a crazy amount. Damn. And then they could go forward to right there. So really nice movement at the torso, man. And then you can twist at the waist or at the diaphragm. So really good stuff there. And then at the arms, we do have ball joints at the shoulder, and there is, I mean, I don't want to call it a butterfly joint, but there's a little bit of movement in there, like it's on a ball joint or something, aside from the actual shoulder joint. So there's a little bit of movement there, but not a whole lot. I wouldn't call it like a full-on butterfly joint. But then the shoulder itself is a ball joint, and his arms can go up to right there with this shirt on, you know. But if you have like jackets or sweatshirts or whatever else on, then it's obviously going to restrict the movement. But with just the shirt, it could go up pretty high, and if he didn't have the shirt, his arms could go all the way around. And then you can bring his arms out to the side to about right there, which, shit, you could probably go more than that. Oh yeah, look at that. Damn. Okay. And then he does have upper bicep swivel, a crazy double jointed elbow. Look at this. Dang. Get some good bend there. And then a ball joint at the wrist that does have a hinge, and you can move it around and do whatever you want. And then for the legs, he could kick out to the side. I mean, the pants are tight, but there's some give there. Look at that. Obviously, you're not going to be able to do this with the guy that's all in leather. But the body's capable of it, but the leather would stop you. So damn, that's pretty good. And then he could kick forward to like right there, but then the pants get kind of tight on you. And they go back to right there, and then he does have upper thigh swivel, double jointed knee, which gets a pretty good bend. Bam. And then at the boot, we have a swivel. And then he also has movement right here, like at the center of the boot. You get some rocking action. You could go forward to there, come up to there, and then they could rotate. On the other two figures, like this guy over here with the boots unlaced, it's all one piece. So the movement is going to come from like the boot right there. You don't get additional movement down here. And then same kind of idea with the Cortez shoes over there. Oops, he dropped his joint. And then just to give you a quick idea of how much you could move his legs with the leather on, it's only about to right there, and then they only go forward to right there. And then the arms could only come up, oh shit, the arms actually come up a pretty good amount. But I'd be scared to do that with both arms at the same time, because it'll probably get tight around the jacket. But that's pretty decent movement. So yeah, even with the leather, you get some good movement out of these guys. But when you take everything off, that's when you really see how good the bodies are. And yeah, these things have some ridiculous articulation. Definitely the most articulated Mezco bodies. And they're a whole bunch of fun to play with, man. You could get them into all kinds of great poses. And I don't know if these are the same bodies that they used on Spider-Man, but they should. Because, like, yeah, the posability is definitely enough for a character like Spider-Man. So definitely happy with the articulation. Alright, gonna try to keep these final thoughts very short, but overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, this is an amazing set. Pretty much everything about it is awesome. Like, everything. The figures themselves are amazing. The accessories are just kind of, they're like out of this world, man. They're ridiculous. The amount of things that we get is crazy, and just the level of quality of all the accessories is definitely above and beyond. Mezco kills it in that department. Like I was saying before, they do the best accessories at this scale, hands down. The figures themselves are amazing as well. They're a whole bunch of fun to play with. They have a bunch of different options. You could change out the clothes, do different type of things, give them different hats, you know, all kinds of cool stuff. So there's a lot of fun to be had with this set. And, you know, I've got to say, this is probably the most fun I've had with one of the Mezco originals. You know, I have Gomez and, you know, Atticus Doom, which is a great figure. I forget what the scuba diver guy's name is, but I have him. I have all those original characters, and I think they're great, but this Pink Skulls band or gig from Hell set is the most fun. I even have the old Pink Skulls, and those are dope. And I thought that because I have the other Pink Skulls, I wasn't going to enjoy these as much. Like, that whole surprise factor wasn't going to be there. But, nah, you could throw that out the window, because I had way more fun with these than I did with the original Pink Skulls. These things are awesome. I'm definitely going to center my whole Mezco original display out of these guys. You know, it's gonna revolve around them because they just look so good, and it's eye-catching to have these crazy looking characters with all these instruments. It kind of reminds me of like Dusk Till Dawn or something, you know, where you have these weird monstrous characters doing things that like humans do, you know. I don't know, but yeah, I really love this set. I think that Mezco killed it, and I'm happy that I grabbed it, because it would have sucked to miss out on this, because this is great. I love it a lot. But anyways, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff.
Please, please, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already.
I'm trying to get to 50,000. It would be nice to get to 50,000 by the end of Comic-Con 2022, but I don't see it because that's in a couple of days. But, you know, with your help, maybe it's possible. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, thank you very much. Peace.